I don't speak Chinese. When you start a dinner and you start drinking and so on, communication sounds much more easier.
Oh, God. Whatever, fine. I've been here for a long time.
Okay.
这一期节赛很有意思，我在北京，
我去了上海。
我们收集了来自30个国家的外国人的关于中国的50个问题。
如果你知道答案的话，可以在弹幕里面抢答。
刚到中国，我不懂面子。
为什么一个宿舍的人必须得一起做所有的事儿
？Why can't I give hongbaos to my coworkers?
Why 可以 when it's not 可以 not the same. Just like basically improving your hair, nothing doing more. 可以 My hair are naturally very curly, and then it become completely straight for the next 2 years.
People will fight to pay the bill. In London, people will fight to not pay the bill.
Is it taught here about how to save the environment and what climate change does?
A lot of Chinese people, like at a workplace, right? You can clearly see some people don't like each other, they have a conflict, but they would not speak out. How direct can I be? How to navigate that?
How big is your family? I'm from South Africa, so we have like humongous families, like 20-something people.
They have a Didi or a Maymay, but it's not really their biological brother or sister. So who do you consider brother and sister, and why? Your grandma on your mother's side is called your foreign grandma.
外婆.
She's your grandma, she's not foreign.
How can people eat like this?
Why do they serve yogurt as a first appetizer or something?
I don't even know how they would categorize something as a certain type of food. Chongqing hot pot, okay, I can guess where that's from.
That place.
It would just be the same everywhere.
Why do you leave the bones in the chicken? Why? Like you have more bones than meat.
The fish, same. Why do I need to take out every...
How and why there's diversity to cooking eggplants happen in China? What's the secret?
The secret is 茄子。
茄子。
我是卖巧克力的，但是所以我经常会听到的回答就是我们的巧克力太甜，中国的饮料都是特别甜，我都吃不了喝不了。
双皮奶算甜品吗？
不算甜品，其实。
豆花、豆腐脑。
豆腐脑不算甜品。
它本来就应该是咸的，对不对？
就是
哎，你看，关于奶茶的，你觉得它上面那种奶酪，它算奶酪吗？你还
是买茶吗？
不，我们没有。
Okay. Why did you guys created Baijiu? 75 degrees, like why? Why so much? Boxes of Maltai coming out, 200,000 kuai bottle of Baijiu, 25 liter. It was huge.
Maltai.
Yeah, Maltai.
That's fancy.
Super good. I love it. I don't speak Chinese. When you start a dinner and you start drinking and so on, I don't know, communication sounds much more easier.
China, oh, God. Whatever, fine. I've been here for a long time.
Okay.
Why so many people go to Universal? Even during winter time, right? Being freezing cold.
How close is too close to cross the road when it comes to a car?
Why are all these 健康宝 photos so ugly? And I was like,
Why in the south we don't have a heater and in the north you have it?
Below the river, no heating, even in places which are maybe colder than some places above the river.
What's the logic here?
我也想知道。
Where do these old guys get these cameras from? They're huge. Why do they need a big lens? Where do they buy them? And why do they buy them if they got a good deal? Maybe I'll go back to Yongkang-lu and start asking questions. I have a camera. They would be impressed with it, but not because it's small.
For football, I think a question I have is why so much effort and so much investment, at least from what I read in the news in the last 10 years, didn't really produce much results. At least in Asia. I'm not saying against European teams or the best teams.
No, they did with the women's team. They won the whole Yazhou Bay.
I read the news about the women's team. Yeah, that's actually a good news.
How do you really feel about foreigners being here?
Is the Chinese school system really that much harder than a German school system?
What are your perceptions of death?
I would love to ask a Chinese Gen Zer, how do you feel that your experience of being Chinese is different? And what do you think your Chinese generation brings to the world in a way that your parents' generation did not?
当然，最好奇的就是中国的未来是什么？个5年之后，见到什么样的中国 ？Is can the United States and China find like new frameworks for cooperating with each other? Can local to local exchanges still happen? You know, like Michiganzhou and Guangdong or something like this. Like, can they still have relationships? Yeah, I think those kind of things will be really important in the future.
Maybe start with food. Get some Chinese brands there.
What would be the new recipe for jiazi for your next generation?
China is that they really have respect for food. And all the ceremonial around food and alcohol, of course, but because we have this kind of very sacred moments around the table. That's true in France, that's true in Italy, and that's very true in China too.
My biggest question right now is how am I going to leave it? I really like it here.
Sometimes people can be really negative about China but live in China.
Oh, good question.
And so I often
how can you live here but hate
really,
China?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
And why don't you leave?
If you don't like it, go.
We heard a lot of cliché before coming, and then you realize that most of them are completely wrong. The thing is that we are always surprised about what can happen in here, even after 10 years.
Instead of like asking the questions, I'm just like, oh, Chinese, yes.
Our experience is to answer the questions for us.
So at one point in time, you just give up and then you enjoy the life.